Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 78. I misguided you a little bit at the end of the last episode. I hope you'll forgive me. We have a little area to explore down in this river bottom, and then we will be going outside the wall. But it should still be in the same episode. We're just doing things a little out of order. And we're going to use the ghost flame hook to solve a small puzzle. Not a tremendously difficult puzzle, but a puzzle nonetheless. Gotta find a safe way down. That's what these cliffs are for. And you want to be careful, there's a gap. I've seen people die to this. We're heading down here. And there's a beetle moving about, and that is the exact reason why we're bringing this tool with us. Is it coming this way? Ooh, it worked, but my timing was just good. I was trying to create this flame patch that lingers for it to run into. And we have these slugs that will get mad at us. Okay. Well, now we can go deeper. That's north. We need to head south. So we found an Ash of War called Purple Strike. Purple Strike. Raise armament aloft in prayer, then slam it into the ground. This inspired blow restores HP to the self and nearby allies if it successfully hits. I didn't know it healed allies, actually. That's good to know. It's usable on axes and hammers. And if I recall, it heals 30% of your max HP. At least to the user. I don't know how much it heals if it's not the same amount to your allies. And then we also found last time Golden Parry, which I didn't read the description of. I should have. But Golden Parry, perform an Erd Tree incantation, swing the shield to deflect enemy attacks and break their stance, effective even at a slight distance. So it gives you a little extra range on your parry, which can be useful for parrying groups of people because it has some range to it. Okay. Let's try to get through this dungeon quick and clean. I don't know what to use. Let's try the Meteoric or Katana. I think I heard a little spell go off. So these guys, I wonder if these guys will detonate due to fire. I'll give that a go. No. But they have wraps around their faces, which is kind of interesting. Well, the pure elemental still kills them, so. Another place to go, this cave. Sealed tunnel for smithing stones, so I recommend rushing this place as well. I think last time I talked about rushing the inner wall of Lanedell, this first wall of Lanedell. The outer wall of Lanedell is what I meant to say. And getting all them golden seeds early on, because more health items means more mistakes. Gonna ruin this militiaman's day. Honestly, it looks like we hit him more with the handguard, which is probably like a hammer at this point, looking at how big and chunky that part is. They could have just made a hammer with the handguard and the grip of this thing. Heck, you don't even have to do this full dungeon if you're too low of a level when you get here. You can just grab this chest and leave. Because that'll let you buy the smithing stones required to get your stuff up to plus 12 standard weapons. Which is a wonderful boon to have. Because money is better than trying to find the smithing stones yourself. But hey, let's just grab these smithing stones on the way down. These ones are free, so you might as well. If you can do this dungeon, do it. I don't see why you wouldn't. I don't think there's anything too particularly difficult about this dungeon. I mean, there's illusory walls, but you're taught to look for illusory walls sooner than this. Have some vulgar militiamen we can easily dispatch with sneak attacks. Linking off stuff. Get a stone sword key. Deal with their smoke. I think that's it for the vulgar militiamen. I don't think I have anything that does lightning damage. Oh wait. We have the dragon halberd. I almost forgot. Always want a source of lightning damage. For these boys. I don't like these boys. To be fair, I don't think they like me either. Oh, but the damage is hard to deny. And stab its innards, and it's done with. Thank you, strength quality weapon. Yeah, 160 lightning. It's probably the easiest time I've ever had fighting that thing, except for I might have used the Stormhawk axe on it once, for those of you who know what that is. Oh no! I made a mistake. I have to use that thing to break open the thing, to break open the statue. I might speed up this part. Oh, God. I now remember why I don't kill it very fast, in retrospect. Oh boy. We're gonna rush through the dungeon and, do that again. Don't worry, we won't fight everything, but... God, the organic experience is gonna be such a chore. Dang it. I really need to get outside so I can fulfill my promise I made last episode of fighting the Erdtree Sentinels. That's important. I guess I can loot that item as well that I missed. It's probably not even important. What are you? Money. I have enough money. I'm just kind of stockpiling for the day when I'm allowed to overlevel. And overlevel I shall, because we have lots of knickknacks, paddywhacks, and level ups to do. So many of each. Alright. So the difference this time is that we're going to go fast. Still going to backstab this guy because it's funny. It just does so much damage to him. Make your way all the way down. Now I spent all that time killing them little guys too. Shucks. Well. There we go. Well, it killed all its friends, so I'm happy. Whew. It opened up just in time. There we go. And now it's broken this open, which is worthwhile because you get 3 level 6 smithing stones. How are we doing on those now? Wow, enough to get a weapon to plus 18. Nice. Very good. Plus 18 is pretty notable. I'm trying to remember what it's what the correlating level is, because 15 is like plus 6. 15 standard to plus 6 somber, I mean. And so a plus 7 somber is like 17.5 standard. And then of course plus 8 somber is like plus 20 standard. That sounds right. Do I have anyone else following me? I don't think so. Good. We have a dungeon to clear. I don't need to be wasting time. We have a statue of Queen America and a trap. And if you need rune fragments, I guess this is a place you can get them. They have like 600 health, and they're made of rocks, so it's hard to do that much damage. Oh, he hit me even underneath. Shouldn't be chugging this many potions, but I shouldn't need them. The boss isn't that mean. Yeah, he's not that mean. Whew. Surprised I dodged that. Here we have another channel. Yeah, there could be a hole there. I always like to see when there's a hole in the top that leads supposedly to the sky where on the map that is about. Just because this is a cliff that we can't actually get to, so for all we know, that is a legitimate hole and not just a silly thing that the developers put there to look nice. Want to see if the geography matches up, of course. Over here, I can jump to this body. Lightning grease, which is nice. I think we can make lightning greases now. So I should probably get a bunch of those together so I have access to lightning on more than just this halberd. Maybe I need lightning damage on a quick weapon like the Sham Shear. Okay. So this is another fight where I'm going to try to use the channeling spell like a silly person. I don't even know if it'll work. But I digress. As for the summon, I think we are going to use the Crystalline Ashes again, actually, so... Perfect. I'm doing the same thing he's doing. Well, it's hitting him. It's very silly. Let's try it again. I want to see how much I can do the casting of it. Not a whole lot. Not worth it, really. But it is funny. Oh, now he's doing it back. How cute. Oh. Crystallian stood her own. She survived. I think she had a good amount of health left. Onyx Lord's Greatsword. Let's take a look at that now. And this is another weapon I'll probably upgrade because I think it's a strength int weapon as a curved sword, which would be very nice. Greatsword forged from the golden-hued meteoric ore. This blade conceals gravity-manipulating magic. A weapon unique to the Onyx Lords, a race of ancients with skin of stone who were said to have risen to life when a meteor struck long ago. So it seems like they came from the meteor and they rose to life. Don't think it's necessarily reanimation, but it's hard to say. So now we find ourselves at the base of this divine tower. We don't know who this is linked to in terms of shard bearers. Renala didn't seem to have her own tower as far as we can tell. Her Great Rune just works. And we did go to Radon and Godric's divine towers. And this one is tightly blocked shut. And I think this is the prompt you get anytime you go to a divine tower before you've slain its accompanying shard bearer. But we need to head back here. So the meteor seemed to work a little. Maybe it's a little better because it hits a wider area, but again, you can't turn with it. So it seems that the Dragon Breath's incantations are just superior if you want to infinite cast. Alright. I think we'll put that back on there. Okay, so we've seen the Crystalline at work more than once. I guess we'll use the Kindred Rod. This is probably a horrible idea. Maybe he'll do okay. Alright, so what to use on these bad boys? Kind of want to use Troll's Roar, but I don't think it'll be fast enough. Kind of want to use the Star Scourge, actually. We'll do that. See if I regret it wholly. Very likely. I think we can get behind one of these boys and fight him on his own a little bit. Oh, I didn't reconfigure this, did I? Shucks. We have a moment. We're going to do it anyways. I don't have it. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, so close. We're gonna do it again, right in his face, like a mistake. Whew, that was good damage. But now our damage output is so high that it's almost doesn't matter. That's not going to go nearly far enough. Damage isn't, it's only a little worse than the Radon's, but it hits a lot faster. Making it a lot more user-friendly. Hits the big old slam. I can just tank the hits. It's a little silly. But yeah, we dealt with them, so not so bad. And now we have the Erdtree Great Shield and a Hero's Rune. I'm curious about the Hero's Rune. Yeah, because we found a Newman's Rune and Hero's Rune 1 and 4 now. Alright, so let's see. 13 says, Grace of Gold, blessed by those who were first to serve it with the most vivid coloration. And you start to get those about 10. Those born at the foot of the Erdtree are blessed, at least that is the enduring belief of the people of the plateau. Even now, runes are still imbued with the power of life itself. Do you see the Erdtree towering or providing a finger maiden can be found for the earlier ones? Okay. And then Newman rune. The Newman are said to have come from outside the lands between and are in fact of the same stock as Queen Marika herself. So Newman was the starting race. Those were once heroes. There were once heroes who walked the battlefields abundantly blessed by the Erdtree itself, upon whose earning their honors simply died. Instead of, I guess, being reincarnated endlessly. So perhaps that is a boon of a sort. So the Erdtree shield is kind of neat because it has relatively low requirements, only 12 faith. So we could put a single point in faith, and thanks to the Godric rune, we could use it. I might do that, honestly. And you can use it to reflect spells. And not in the sense of Thop's Barrier, but it reflects a bigger, holy flavored projectile directly back at the enemy who cast at you. And you can almost spam it. It does require a little timing, but you can reflect spells often. Stamp the evil flower. Apparently we can still summon a friend here, which is kind of interesting to think about. Speaking of friend summoning, I think we're going to summon a regular Glintstone Sorcerer, and then after that a Twin Sage, so we're making progress on all these different summons. And we have a Dark Cave to use our flavorful spell again. My favorite. Alright. What have we not used in a while? I feel like I'm doing pretty well. We haven't used the Cleaver. What do we put in the offhand? Well, none other than the Commander's Standard, of course. So why wouldn't we buff our damage? Ooh, 617 and 554 or 544. Take out those fellows. Throw a fire pot at this one. Big old poison nova. Don't really care too much. Come on. There we go. Get some silver fireflies, start regenerating health. Budding cave moss. I believe we found budding cave moss before. Now, if you want to make perfumes and a few other craftables, I remember that this cave is a pretty good place to farm because I believe not only the flowers, but the perfumers themselves drop those types of crafting ingredients you need for perfumes and stuff. And I need to get those materials myself at some point. But because the perfumer dust lingers for him, it's a lot easier for them to get that buff over and over, that barrier that just blocks 99% of damage. Probably didn't need 11 of those suckers, but oh well. They do scale with strength, so not the worst choice. Another perfume bottle, living jar shards, a lot of them. Did we learn anything from living jar shards? I know we've heard Jarbaran talk about poachers. And living jar shards. Fragment of a living jar hardened after its death. Material used for crafting items. Such fragments command a high price due to the magical power locked within. This leaves living jars unfortunate targets for poachers. Okay, so another place that we see that description. And so it seems that not only are perfumers willing to cultivate man-eating flowers, but they are willing to poach, or at least hire poachers, to collect living jar shards. So a very unsavory business, to say the least. And here we have a giant underground earwig. Again. Horrible. Let's see how much damage I can stack. I'm curious now. I think we're going to try the lion great bow, just because it hits more often. And then we're going to eat an exalted flesh for good measure. Oh, that stumbled him. Well, that worked really well. To be fair, the arrows spawned above him, basically in his body, so I think very few of them missed. The great bow might have been better because of its tighter radius, but I thought I'd give it a go. And I thought that was fun, personally. Okay. Miranda powder, 6 of them on that body. Another one off the small flower. Warming stone. Golden rune, golden rune. Okay. So, it seems to do quite well. And we're going to bring the glintstone sorcerer, because that'll be funny. In fact, I'm going to try to leave Terra Magica here on the ground for the sorcerer. I don't know if that'll work for him, but... get the crit, and hopefully ignore most of the attack. Killed the Omen Killer pretty fast. So let's see what kind of damage he's got. Especially when he's got a Terra Magica working for him. He's not doing much. He's doing little 183s. Now it's constant, So I think at short range where you can keep stuff off of him, he might be an okay summon. How much does he take? 49. So he's rather cheap. Let's see how his durability stands up. He's got an okay pool of health. And the flower's not hitting him with the best stuff, but... Well, that's the regular Glintstone Sorcerer. I feel like you get him kind of early on. And we get a Great Omen Killer Cleaver. So we get one of the Omen Killer weapons, which is a Great Axe that has bleed on it, and it's a strength weapon. And it comes with Wild Strikes. So I like carrying one of these on my bleed builds. I like to put Wind Collar on it, the one that where you spin it overhead over and over. I feel like if you can trap people in that cycle of getting hit by a heavy weapon like that with some hyper armor on a bleed weapon that does okay damage, it can be a bit spooky. Is it optimal? Is it meta? No, I just think it's fun. Okay. Alright. What do we have time for now? I haven't been keeping as good an eye on my notes as I ought to have. I don't think I've missed anything in terms of lore. Okay. Alright, I could talk about the perfumers for a bit for the end of this episode. That sounds like a good idea. So I have some notes I've written down. So let's see. Perfumer's bottle, Omen Killer Cleaver. Let's read the description for the cleaver first, actually. It's a good idea. The blade of this huge, loathsome cleaver comprises a row of amputated omen horns. Gross. Weapon of slaughter wielded by omen killers. The hideous horns cause blood loss, adding vibrant colors to the ongoing mayhem. Yeah, I'm assuming it's talking about blood. Is the vibrant color. Interesting that it says colors, though. Plural. In fact, while I'm thinking about that, we're going to head over here because there are some topical omen we can see while we're doing that. But, let's see. Perfumer's bottle. Let's look at the perfumer's bottle. Glass bottles used by perfumers used to seal various scent compounds, essential vessel for crafting perfume items. The art of perfuming was once jealously guarded in the capital, but after the perfumers were drafted into service during the Shattering, the art became widely practiced throughout the lands between. And I want to know art of the, so this is spark, uplifting, and acid spray mist. So spark, aromatic, uplifting, aromatic, and acid spray mist are the three that we have access to right now, right? Though fire was prohibited to those who served the Erd Tree, this rule was forgotten as the war drew ever on, which is interesting. I assume it's referring to the Shattering, because when we read the item description for any of the early flame incantations, let's see, the Flame of Ruin is a, let's see, incantation originating from a sinister prophecy. The Flame of Ruin is anathema to the Erd Tree, but prophets sometimes glimpse it within the faith all the same. Sadly, when this occurs, their sole reward is banishment. So, might have something to do with an Erd Tree burning in a prior era. Now its ghostly spirit resides over the capital. But back to the aromatics, as we were looking. I meant to be going in this direction while reading these. But, well, item crafting is what I want. Okay. The uplifting aromatic. This aromatic has an extremely potent morale-raising effect that makes those accustomed to it fearless in the face of death. It was this influence that made the perfumers exceptional commanders, and perfume powder is held in the mouth to dissolve before being expelled. It was once a restorative art, or so it is said, though the acid spray mist dissolves enemies' armor. I think it makes them take more damage and deal slightly less. It does one of the two or both, I forget what. But if we come over here, just a little ways north of the Site of Grace, we see some omen. And I want to see if I can get a good angle on this one down here. But we'll be sneaky about it. But we can watch him sleeping. And he's shaking a bit in his sleep. Talking, maybe groaning a little bit. He seems to be having nightmares of some kind, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm curious if we look at the Omen Killer outfit, or what we have of it. Or was it Perfumer Trisha? Trisha was once known as a healer of those dedicated. Trisha was once known as a healer who dedicated her efforts to treating misbegotten, omen, and all those seen as impure. When her efforts failed, she was seen as their companion as they died, watching over them to ensure that they could pass peacefully, free of pain. A tale akin to the origins of the deathbed companions. Let's see how many of these things I can get through. Perfumer. Let's see. The role of the perfumer was much respected, a blessed apothecary in the eyes of many, but after entering the battlefields of the Shattering, they performed no such role, trading their aromatics for poisons and explosives. An associate of a healer, he is said to be in search of new aromatics and flower gardens in hopes of treating misbegotten omen and those seen as impure. Shucks. Omen seemed to have pretty poor sight, especially in the dark, and it's technically dark right now. Ow. There we go. He is dealt with. I don't think that alerted them. No, so I can keep talking. Good. We might run just a tad long because I'm trying to piece things together. We might be missing an item that I need to finish putting all these details together. But we will see. Depraved perfumer. These heresy-inclined perfumers imbibe their own spices to alter their body and mind. Their slow descent into self-destruction is what earned them their name. Let's see. Thick front apron embroidered with the depiction of the Erd trees, proof of mastery of the apothecarial arts, and its weight symbolizes the onus of both pride and responsibility. Thick front apron, the badge of a perfumer, has been replaced with a more simple one made from soft leather. This heresy-inclined perfumers imbibe their own spices, and it's got a serpent wrapping around something. I'll put it on to show it off. I think we're missing the key item that I was leading to with all these descriptions. But yeah, it looks like an upside-down tree, perhaps, wrapped in a serpent. Very heretical. Very cool, depraved perfumers. Okay. Alright, so let's go over my notes. Let's see. Real perfumers throughout history have a shady past. It was difficult to be a perfumer with a conscience. Oftentimes, a gland from a choice animal would be valuable enough to kill the beast for just one part. Right? Miranda powder is a staple in most perfumes we make in-game, and we learn from the description that the Miranda sprout ashes that there's a moral cost to perfuming. They are man-eating flesh flowers. Let's see, the cost of the perfume regents is so high that many perfumers are driven into hiding from what we can tell. And I think we learned this from the perfumer talisman. There are gardens known only to the perfumers, whether hidden on the fringes of the highlands or obscured by shadows inside the caves. The flowers blossom in secret, waiting to impart their scent. Okay. Perfumer gloves indicate that in times past, the role of the perfumer was as much respected, blessed apothecary in the eyes of many. The perfumer robe indicates that the thick front apron embroidered with the depiction of the Erd tree is proof of mastery of the apothecarial arts. We've already read that. On the perfumer's cookbook, we can see a symbol that looks like a frenzied warming stone, which is a sign of heresy. We have not found any frenzied warming stones yet, but now you are vaguely aware that they exist. I thought we would have found one by now, but I suppose not. I need to go to key items. I don't know what I'm thinking. There it is. So there we see a warming, maybe it's a regular warming stone, maybe not a frenzied one, but it still has the little symbol on there. Interesting that the two different cookbooks have slightly different descriptions. So the first one is left by a military perfumer, contains martial techniques beyond the repertoire of an ordinary physician, and the other one is cookbook 4 is crafting techniques left by a depraved perfumer. That might be the frenzied warming stone on that page of the frenzied cookbook. And this might be a regular warming stone. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. In the uplifting aromatic perfume, we learn that it raises the morale of those accustomed to it, making them entirely unafraid of death. One incredibly powerful tool for a commander. correct. Surprised that there wasn't an aromatic invented to instill fear and panic in its hosts. Maybe dispensing it would be very difficult. It seems that they did develop at least poisons to disperse over a crowd. Maybe aromatics are a little bit like hypnosis, where it takes a somewhat willing participant, except for in the case of fire and poison. Let's see. The ash bags of fertilizer in the perfumer's grotto seem to have human faces in the openings. Excuse me? We're going to go take a look at that right this instant. Did I forget to look? I should have had my notes open the whole time. I'm glad I didn't, like, look at this, like, way later and get upset at myself for not having looked, but we should see some bags in this first part of the dungeon. We shouldn't have to do the whole thing. And we can just teleport away when we're done. Okay. There are bags here? Alright, here are the bags. Let's take a look-see. I'm so curious. How did I forget about this? Probably because I made my notes a long bit ago. Okay, so we're going to drop one of these bad boys since Starlight disappears. That does look like a sideways face, doesn't it? Let's find another one. That doesn't look like much. Could be a face. I mean, we do know that they're man-eating flowers, so it kind of makes sense that this is where they'd feed them. Goodness. Need more glowstone. There we go. Industrial lighting. I'm not seeing the face, but I maybe just need to find a better bag. They might vaguely resemble faces. None of the barrels have it. Maybe I need to find a better bag to look into. So that's the one that looks most like a face to me, is this top bag here. It looks like a sideways face. Maybe that was just a theory that somebody had that I had read. Let's go a smidge farther. There's another set of bags up ahead. Just want to be thorough. This episode's gonna run long. Ow. I'm hoping that the glowstone isn't, like, ruining our ability to see their faces. That's the same bag I saw before. Oh no. As I break them apart like that. Physics for just a moment. Can't even see the backside of them, huh? Yeah, it's always the one facing upward has the most vague impression of a face. Alright, we have a lot here, so maybe this will provide some good lighting. One up on the wall. Yeah, it's always these upward ones, so... That's the one that looks like a sideways face to me. It's got its mouth over there on the edge and one eye hole. That one kind of looks like an upside down face. Maybe I just see it because I want to see it. But yeah. I don't know. Seems to be enough of these. Perhaps there's something to it. Yeah, those look like two side-by-side faces to me. Yeah, so they have bags of the human remains, the fertilizer, and for some reason they always position it so the face is peeking out of the sack for creepy factor. Why not? Okay. Let's see. So depraved perfumers, like the one that we saw at the Albinauric village, They have much higher drop rates compared to Lanedell perfumers, showing that a lack of morals is good for commerce. Kind of a funny little detail there. The ash bags of the fertilizers, perfumes, and the growers seem to have human faces. We read that already. Depraved Perfumer Robe says that the embroidery on the apron is itself a curse upon the Erd Tree, and when the symbol is turned upside down, it appears like the candle tree from the candle tree wooden shield. Thought to represent a surreptitious prophecy of cardinal sin, the lit candle tree design was forbidden. Okay. So we did see that on the shield there. And sure enough, I was trying to make sense of it at the time and could not. Tree Sentinel Duo, we already took care of them. Okay. So I think we'll grab the item here. We will be very good to continue our jaunt. Come on, give me the impaling thrust. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm getting swept. And he just died from it. Oh well. Just shows I'm bad at spacing. Monsters, at least. Okay, and another perfume bottle over here. So it seems that a perfumer at one point in time, though it's not found on a noble's body, might have been trying to care for these omen. And notice that they are farther away from the camp. Probably because of their monstrous appearance. And again, we see the shaved buds, or the shaved down horns. Whether that was to make an omen cleaver, whether that's for their own convenience, it looks very much like the same growing spots that the Dung Eater has all over his armor. Alright, so that's it for this episode. We did run far longer than I meant to by any means. But next time, we will be heading north. And I think we'll have a monument to read, and a character interaction, and a quest to continue. Here it is. Here's the Stone Swords. So we will read these next time. Thank you for joining me. I think next time will be episode 70. Let's see. We've recorded 75, 76, 77. I think this is 78. Next time's probably 79. I could be wrong. But thank you for joining me anyways, and I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye now.